or that are doing the radical expressions. And the key thing, as I'm looking at this first one with the Pythagorean theorem, you will have one box problem when you're thinking about that. So like what we just did in yesterday's assignment, there will be one of those. There's going to be one problem that's going to be like in our review that we're working on. There's at least a couple of them in our review that are perimeter problems. Okay, so I'm going to say, here's this shape, and you got to find the missing sides, and you use Pythagorean theorem to find that. And then there'll be a distance one between 2 points. So when you think of the ones where we did between the 2 points in our notes, we didn't really have any in our homework, but you're going to have some of those. So distance between 2 points. And for those 4 questions, that's going to be 22 points. We are looking for those. Again, those piercing quizzes are just extra practice. I'm not going to take points on those. When you look at this next one, converting between the exponential and radical, so I believe there was 8 on our quiz. It's going to be 8 again. So that is 32 points. And this last one, simplifying, instead of, I think there were 10 on the last one when you were simplifying the radicals. This time there's 4 for 16 points. So we had more points on that on the quiz. When you think about that simplifying radicals, this is where you can use your calculator. So a perfect square, so factoring so that you get that perfect square. So it'll be the square root, you'll have your perfect square times a number. Think about the 3 things that mean it isn't simplified. So if I'm thinking about that, I might also be thinking, oh, if I have a fraction, how do I simplify that fraction? When I'm multiplying or adding, how do I simplify if I'm doing that? So that multiplication and the addition of those radical expressions as we were looking at those. So getting them to look alike as you are doing that. So as you look at the 16 questions, 70 points, questions on any of these standards or what we're looking at for the test. So again, some of you on the last quiz didn't do too great on some of these. Go back over them, make sure you know how to put them in your calculator, look at what you were doing. I would like you, if you would turn right now to G11. So the next 2 days are going to kind of be working on this. We might do tomorrow some Quizlet Live with some of the simplifying radicals and doing some things that way, maybe with Pythagorean theorem. So like when you look at question 1 on that, one of the things it says, okay, the biggest mistake that people will make is it says, how much shorter is the distance directly from Ferris to Butte than the distance that Wayne found? So the most common mistake is people will give me this answer, and that's not the answer to the question. The answer to the question doesn't say how far is it from Ferris to Butte. It says, okay, if he was going, it says how much shorter is the distance from Ferris to Butte than the way he found. So he found this way, right? What did he found the distance to be? He found the distance to be 35 miles. And the question says, how much shorter is it? So this distance right here is the 35 miles. That isn't what the question asks. The question says how much shorter. So you have to find this distance and then you have to subtract. So we're going to be looking that you apply it more. Okay. Again, here they're talking about what kind of triangle, obtuse, acute, as we are looking at those. So you see the box problem as you're looking at number 5. Okay. As you take a look, some of these other questions, again, draw the picture so you can think about that ladder. Looking at, are these what kind of triangle again, the distance between 2 points. And these are the perimeter problems that I'm talking about. So taking a look at number 12 right now. It says, the figure drawn is in centimeter grid paper. Find the perimeter, the distance around the outside of the figure. So if I'm finding perimeter, how many sides do I have of this figure that I have to add together? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? to get my full perimeter, okay? If I am starting out, is there one that is super easy to find the distance of? That I can find the length of one of those sides? Which one? The one on the top, right? So way up here, this distance is 1. I might call this C1, I might call this C2, and I might call this C3. Why would I want to call them C's instead of something else when I'm working with right triangles? Because it's my what of my right triangle? The hypotenuse, right? I need to draw a right triangle. So maybe this first one, I draw for C1, I draw this right triangle. And I know the length of this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the length going across here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I use this Pythagorean theorem with 5 squared plus 7 squared to equal C1 squared? So I need to find that distance. Then I need to draw another right triangle and find this distance. And someone said, well, do I need to show all that work? Well, if this is like a, in the Pythagorean theorem section of the test, if this is like a 8-point question or a 6-point question, and the only thing you tell me is the answer, which would be in centimeters, and you don't show me like what you added, like that you got this to be your C1 and this was C2 and this was C3, and you just give me an answer, that's all I can grade, and if it's wrong, I can't give you any points on it. So at least if you're showing me some of this. And again, I would draw this last right triangle. This is a similar question here, so think about, again, finding the perimeter. And in this one, again, like reading the question in number 1, people don't read the question. So the first thing they'll do is they'll go, oh, this is so great, 6, 9. And they'll find the missing length. And the question, if you would read the question of number 13, it says, Casey, what? So we need the original height. So once I find that distance, what am I going to do with it? Add it to 9 or 6? Add it to 6, right? Because it's as if this pole was standing all the way up, right? It wants to know its original height. So the key thing in this unit, what surprises me the most, is students don't read the questions carefully. So just make sure you're reading. So today, I would focus on the Pythagorean theorem part, okay? The next 2 pages, the G12, take a look at it and look at and maybe circle some that you want me to answer questions on, because on Wednesday, there's not going to be any questions, right? First off, 8-1, you're taking the test